in the deep heart of South Carolina's low country, where the rivers twist like black veins through the swamp and the air hangs heavy with secrets, there once stood a plantation called Cypress Grove, a place where the land itself seemed to breathe with sorrow. In April of 1841, Silas Rutled, a man consumed by ambition and shadowed by the weight of sin, made a decision that would burn his name into the darkest corners of history. He placed his only daughter, Catherine, a woman of fragile mind and heavy spirit, under the complete authority of an enslaved man named Ezekiel Cross. The world saw it as madness, an act beyond cruelty or reason, but Silas was not acting from reason. He was answering to something older, something that whispered through the Spanish moss at night and moved unseen through the flooded rice fields. The people of Colleton County spoke of him in hushed tones, calling him desperate, cursed, and damned. Yet they never truly knew the depth of his bargain, the oath written not on paper, but in blood, beneath a moonless sky. The Brethren of the Harvest, 13 men bound by rituals that mixed the superstitions of Europe with the forbidden wisdom of the enslaved, had promised Silas power and protection. But power in those days came at a cost, paid not in gold but in flesh. And so, when Ezekiel arrived, tall, silent, and watchful, with eyes that held centuries of pain and wisdom, the land itself seemed to stir. The birds went quiet. The dogs would not bark. Catherine's screams echoed through the house for 3 nights, and then silence. Those who worked the fields said they saw her walking at dusk beside the river, her skin pale as milk, her hair loose and wild, whispering to something that wasn't there. Others swore they saw Ezekiel standing at her window, not as a man, but as a shadow with burning eyes. As months passed, crops withered, cattle died, and one by one, the men of the Brethren began to vanish, each found later with their mouths filled with soil and their eyes wide open as if staring into eternity. The county was seized by fear. They called it fever or madness or divine punishment, but those who lived through it knew the truth. Something had awakened beneath Cypress Grove. Catherine's body began to change, her voice deeper, her strength unnatural. Her father locked himself inside his study, drinking until dawn, muttering prayers that no preacher could recognize. By November, the plantation was a ruin, its walls cracked, its wells dry, and the cries from the attic keeping the remaining servants from sleep. Then, one stormy night, the sky tore open with lightning and the great house burned. 13 men died that night, and when dawn came, all that remained was ash and a single blackened cross standing where the chapel had been. No one saw Ezekiel or Catherine again. Some say they perished in the fire. Others whisper they walked into the river hand in hand, never to be seen again. But sometimes, when the moon is high and the wind carries the scent of wet earth, travelers swear they hear a woman singing near the ruins, soft, mournful, and in a language long forgotten. They say the song can draw you off the road, down toward the swamp, where the water is still and dark as ink. And if you listen too long, if you follow the voice into the mist, you will never find your way out. For the curse of Cypress Grove was never buried. It sleeps beneath the soil, waiting for the sound of footsteps to wake it once more. This is not just a story of a father and daughter. It is the story of greed, sin, and the power that lies waiting when man tries to command what was never his to control. The land remembers. The blood remembers. And every secret buried in the low country has a price that must be paid in the end.